gotta be hungry. Les Brown says that. That's why I look at Les Brown every other day. I listen to Les
I love
Brown.
him. He's a great speaker.
Come on,
isn't
Les
he?
Brown, Louise L. Hay, which you the thoughts create your future. You know, that's another. She's a spiritual philosopher. So end of the day, you know, you gotta be hungry. So being hungry is being outspoken, speaking to people.
Owning yourself.
Owning yourself.
They won't buy it if you don't own it.
This website guy shouldn't walk out here with nobody attacking him. In New York, they doing it. I was working with Nick Cannon Club, and everybody was who wanted to network him came to network with this guy, but people was like shy about it. He stayed around for them to talk, and everybody who ran towards Nick Cannon, they think, oh, I don't want to run to him to get his attention and do anything with him. But you know, it might work, it might not work, but at least you tried. Just that's the example. They willing to do what they got to do because they got something they want to tell this person who can maybe help them. And just that little bit, no, maybe it don't work. He say, man, get out of here, hop in a limo, but who cares? Who cares about what somebody look at you, what they thinking about you?
Are you guys aware of your place and your surroundings? And when I say that, I'm saying in your respective fields, are you aware of the landscape in which you operate and how it is affected by your output with the comments that were just made?
Can you explain that some more?
As a director, do you operate and do you ride off of the energy, not necessarily from people, but the energy of the landscape, with like new businesses going on and like just the geographical DNA of how everything sort of coexists? Does that play a factor in your
Get what you're
process?
saying. Like if the environment affects how I operate.
Yeah.
Well, I know what my mission is. I think that's the first thing. You gotta have a mission. Even if it's not your end-all be-all mission, have one for now. Make one up today. Have a mission, and then just treat the environment based on that mission. If your mission is to be a rapper, or if your mission is to be an architect, they're two different missions. You're gonna react completely different to your environment. So I always know what my goal is, what my outcome is for a situation. Like I had a very specific outcome coming into this panel. You know, I had a very different outcome going into a shoot. And when you know what your outcome is, it's way easier to get it. You know, because sometimes your outcome may be to land a job. Sometimes you need a job. Your outcome is to make somebody feel good. Or your outcome is to create change. Or to save somebody. Or to get the girl's number. Whatever it is. Know your outcome. Be very specific with what you want from the situation. You're way more likely to get it if you know what you're going for. And I feel like a lot of people move forward without knowing what they're going for. It's like asking for directions without an address.
Exactly.
It's like, which way do I take to get to this person's house? Well, you don't even know what that, like, you gotta know, I'm going there. I'm gonna walk out of that, like, my first, like a story, you know, if I tell a real quick story of how I got my first major directing gig, was when I lived in Chicago. I took my little sister to go see a Drake concert. That's why I love going to rap concerts. There really is, like, all I do with my free time is go to rap concerts. I took her to see Drake, and there was one guy in the audience who looked like he did not belong there. I was like, I don't know why, but that guy looks important. And at that point, I was only an editor. I was only working for the directors. And in between the opening act and Drake, I went over and spoke to him. We just started having a conversation. Turns out he was a producer for some new artist, some young money, whatever. I got his number, and then I looked him up on Wikipedia. I saw that he used to work with this other artist that I knew. Then I hit him up, and I was like, hey, you guys still talk? He's like, no, it's not connected to them. I started adding value to his life. I wasn't asking for anything. I was just adding to it. And I knew my mission was I want to move to LA and I want to work with major artists. I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. I had a vision board in my room. I had it written out. I was like, that's what I want to do. So eventually I moved to LA, came out here with like 2 months worth of rent, no gigs, no connections. He was like the only person I knew. And I hit him up, I think it was like Thanksgiving or something. I was like, hey, I'm moving, whatever. So as soon as he knew that I got here, he said, oh, that's funny. I was just showing your videos to my new artist. And I was like, what's his name? I go, it's Tyga. He wants to meet you. I said, okay, cool. So I went over to Tyga's house. And I knew, again, I went in there with my very specific outcome. I want to work directing with major artists. Like, that was in my mind. I said it out loud in the car like 50 times. I was like, I'm going to work. I was like, go get yourself up. Where I had it, I owned it so much that by the time I got in there, I was vibrating with that energy. That's what's going to happen. I walk in there and Tyga's like, yo, so here are my videos. What do you think about them? I said, I think they were really, really bad. And he was like, why? I said, well, because of this, the color here, the angle here, this thing there. And then I was kind of cocky for a second. And he was like, well, then you shoot me a video. I was like, man, I'll shoot you a video tomorrow. And he was like, great, then shoot me a video tomorrow. And I was like you said, they'll ask you to do it. When you say you can do something, they'll ask you. And I said, okay, I guess I gotta shoot you a video.
Was this like, you know, Tyga before he was like Tyga?
This is before, like, I didn't know who he was.
Right.
This is before his first album.
Oh.
This is before like his second mixtape, before his first album. So he was a new artist, still recording like at the apartment, like 3.5 years ago. And so I shot a video the next day, just me, my camera, and like a small Arri kit, a very small video. It's a video called Hypnotized. We put it on World Star, and I got like 3 million views overnight. He asked me to do it in a week. I did it in a day, 24 hours. I had the whole thing cut, colored, edited, printed on DVD with a label of copies. Gave it to him. He said, okay, great, then maybe that was a fluke. Do me another video. So I did Storm for him the next week. That one got like 5 million views overnight. And then the following week, again, this is like my 3rd week in LA. Then the following week he said, you know, can you do behind the scenes too? I said, yeah, I can do anything. He said, cool, I'm going on tour with Diddy, you're coming with us. And that's how it started. And all of that came because I was at a Drake concert and I said hi to some dude who looked like he belonged there. But I knew what my outcome was. I was very specific on what my vision was. And I just added value. I just came through, was nice, was confident, and I added value. And me saying hi to some guy at a Drake concert when I was hanging with my sister led to me going on tour with Diddy and then directing a video for him. Everything happened after that. All from just me, like you said, being aware of my environment. You know, not being afraid to go say hello. It might not work out. They might laugh at you, or they might open every door, like when you said that. And you gotta be prepared to deliver.
Yeah, I think an important element of that is actually being not to react, but to take action and not being reactionary. Because you could have went in that and met that director and just asked for an autograph, whereas you had an agenda. You knew you wanted to move forward, and you knew that, like you said in the car over about 50 times, that you wanted to direct for major artists. So I would say, if anyone, like if you see anyone famous, take action, don't be reactionary. Don't ask for autograph, but ask for a business card.
Yes.
That's sort of how like these relationships sort of came about. Me reaching out to Brazil and sort of being like a big brother to Expo, and Jamil being sort of a mentor, and this is the result of that. Yes, question?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you explain to us your goal with Project LA South? You say 75 creative projects, but that is very, very, very vague. For people here that don't understand, I don't understand. So like like parks, is it gardens, is it?
The goal, look, very interesting you say that. Well, the goal of Project LA South is to develop, fund, and manage 75 creative startups within a 5-year period. So that gives me to 2020. Creative projects can be anything, where there's like galleries, content creation, photography studios, which is a lack in South Central, a place where I grew up, and how those
like businesses and projects, right?
Businesses
so that could be
and
like
projects.
a record label down to like a dance studio.
Yeah.
Anything. Okay.
And how those businesses are created and how those messages are translated to the individuals in that community, whether it's billboards and product placement, advertisements, television spots, social media, rich media. It's just so many different things, and I look at it as an ecosystem. So like our green initiative, where we hope to develop community gardens, is actually a partnership between hospitality locales and the surrounding communities such as Hollywood, Santa Monica, West LA, so on and so forth. And with that, we actually took the idea from Pepsi, but this is a Coke can, like the Pepsi Refresh project, where individuals exclusively in South Los Angeles would be able to submit their idea for funding. And I thought what made it different from everything else out there was that crowdsourcing and other crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter, they were very broad, and they were readily available to everyone. Whereas, a lot of individuals in South Central or inner cities don't necessarily have the resources or tools to necessarily shoot a video or come up with a business plan, or may not even know how to initially get the paperwork done to start a company. So that's a lot of stuff that I've learned on my own, and had a lot of great people who have sort of I've encountered in my life. So I created a company. I started off as a writer. I did a lot of traveling on my BMX for like 3 years, meeting a lot of different people, running into different celebrities. And as a result, I came up with Project LA South. I wanted to have a nonprofit, but it just didn't work. And so it came to be creative placemaking, whereas I wanted to develop billboards, and I wanted to, you know, create different messages that would sort of, you know, change the mindset of the individuals in the place where I lived. I was like in an environment where it's like I would witness certain things, and as a result, I was like, I'm not just going to sit here and let this happen. I'm going to do something about it, and also I'm not going to, you know, sort of fall victim to it. So as a result, I was like, I'm a creative, so I'm going to do what I know how to do best, and that was be creative, and that's where Project LA South came from. A lot of great people had came into my life. And as a result, I was like, man, I want people to feel how amazing it is when, you know, people who would never imagine would, you know, take a chance on someone who may not even see, you know, the potential in themselves. So I was that kid for a long time. I was, you know, like, you know, I couldn't see myself out of a brown paper bag. And all of a sudden, you know, my life sort of just changed. But it didn't just change, and me, you know, taking it a day at a time, and me believing in myself, and seeing my environment for what it was, and not being a victim towards it or being reactionary to it, but taking action. And the rest is sort of like history. So, back to the question, what is our mission, our goal? Our goal is to start creative businesses, but it's also an ecosystem. It's hard to define as a non-profit project because there's so many different elements, and just the way my mind works, I look at everything as an ecosystem, and you know what I mean?
You want the whole community to prosper. You want businesses to prosper. You want to start businesses and help them help each other.
It's more participatory than reactionary.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
There's not a direct answer. It's not like we want to raise, you know, $1 million, which, I mean, it's going to take capital, of course, but the best way to describe it is creative placemaking. We want to do some groundbreaking things and bring a lot of different people together. You know, give people the resources to have companies, to start companies, and to maintain those companies. And a lot of that entails partnerships between communities, like partnerships with local colleges such as USC, Trade Tech, West Los Angeles, and having the students there, you know, take a more proactive approach and actually going into those communities and having forums such as these, like panels on business development, on financing, on creating a business plan, on starting a 501c3, on branding, on trademark, on creative businesses. So that's what the bulk of what I do is, and that I've dedicated my life to that for the last several years.
That's beautiful.
Aside from being a writer.
In closing, why don't we all give like the last 2 minutes of parting words for any up-and-coming entrepreneurs or artists out there? And I said 2 minutes because me and you like to talk a lot. So why don't we just count out these last 2-minute parting words for people based on your experience? So we could all go.
Experience here?
No, just in life.
In life.
Maybe, you go that? Like the last 2 minutes advice for everybody?
Yes. Well,
I can say something short, man. Something nice and short. Work hard and stay dedicated. That's it. Work hard and stay dedicated. Me, I'm just gonna say a couple words that would help me. No excuses. No excuses. Doing the work, and that's what I be telling myself all the time. I get tired, I get frustrated, and I feel overwhelmed too. So I say, you know, I gotta do the work. Do the work. And I think about my past. Not to dwell on it, but to think about where I came from. And I'm around palm trees and women that I can't beat that. So I'm in a comfortable place with my settings, but I'm not comfortable at all. I'm uncomfortable. And you gotta get uncomfortable to get comfortable, that's what they say. So by me working like this, it just what I would say, anybody that want to do entrepreneurship or be a producer, don't limit yourself for opportunities, because facilitate every opportunity. We a minute now? All right, when you look forward, you know, some people look forward and just look, that's it. But something right here is opportunity. It happened to me. I could have did radio back in the day, but I didn't know about radio, but I didn't know about opportunity either. There's opportunity to do radio, but I didn't know about radio because somebody said, you want to do radio in Atlanta? I was like 2000 was MySpace days. And I was like, yeah, I do red carpet. I'm a host on red carpet, and I built this thing up in New York. I do red carpets with celebrities, and that's what I do, so I don't know. And I asked Claudia Jordan at the time. She's like, she's doing it. She said, well, if you like radio, then do it. If you don't, then don't. I said, that makes sense. And I was like, I don't want to do radio. That's not what I do. But now, me being older, I said, oh, that's an opportunity I should have took. You know, because I built something so personal. I thought this was all that, and nobody could do nothing different. I couldn't do anything different, but you could do everything, you know. But you could still have one focus at the same time. It's an opportunity. So don't make no excuses and take opportunity on, and be able to network. That's it. Sell yourself. And real quick, 30-second pitch. Do it real quick. And have keywords to what you do and how you sell people. Because everybody, you can't sell the same. You can't sell everybody on money. You can't sell everybody on women. You can't sell everybody on fast car. You got to sell everybody different. Some people like to be sold on sacrifice and how you sacrifice to do stuff you do with them. So it's a lot of things you got to take account for. What's that word? A lot of things you got to just keep in mind approaching people out here in LA. So,
Accountability.
accountability. I guess that's the word he want to use. I don't know. But thank you. So.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank Director Brazil, Expo, and Jamil Sharif. And once again, the Los Angeles Film School for being very, very generous. I'm Patrick White, and thank you.
Thank you.